the 29th of January. It's been an interesting few weeks in the market. The junior resource space has seen a pullback across multiple stocks, and Power Metal Resources is included in those that have seen a reduction in share price. I think the high earlier on in the month was 3.45 pence, and we're now sat circa 2.35, 2.4 pence. It's obviously a frustrating and for some concerning time when they see the share price of any company that they're invested in pull back. For others, it might be an opportunity to see a cheaper entry than just a few weeks ago or even a few days ago. So there's a whole mix of different emotions. But I wanted to just run through the presentation and talk to you, not in detail about the company, but just give you an indication of the type of work that we're doing and mainly the key valuation drivers that are in the mix at the moment, as it were. Power Metal Resources is listed on the AIM market with the ticker POW. We're a global resource exploration operator with interests in North America, Australia, and Africa, and we're seeking large-scale metal discoveries. This is our disclaimer, which I would encourage you to read in absolute detail all the way through before going through the rest of this presentation. And there's a message from me as the CEO. That message has not changed in the months it's been as part of the presentation. We still remain focused on building aggressively, communicating proactively, building our balance sheet to aim for self-financing status, and making sure that with regard to the board, the salary of the board is reasonable and that we are incentivized to perform exactly in line with what our shareholders need to see, which is a rising share price. Okay, we are, as I said before, a global business. We have precious metal interests in North America and Australia and base metal exploration interests in Africa. We have a range of different stages of projects, from early stage greenfield exploration to later stage drill ready prospects. Well, actually, we're drilling across a number of our interests and have been recently. So we are at that intriguing point as a company where we have the ability to deliver news flow to market that could be transformational to our share price if we're fortunate and we get the right kind of results. This is the board of directors, myself as CEO. I'm a chartered accountant for my sins, and I've been involved in AIM resource companies for quite a few years now, in various roles, chairman, CEO, and non-exec director. And from that experience, everything that we're doing, we're trying to bring into Power Metal Resources. So leave out the bad things, build on the good things. There's the share capital of the company. I'm the largest shareholder with 61.5 million shares. I've invested cash, real cash, not just fees offset. Real cash of circa 350 to 400,000 pounds into the company. I'm backing my own proposition. The board as a whole owns circa 11% of the stock, and we are really aligned with our shareholders because we have stock holdings, warrant holdings, option holdings, and we need to see the share price perform for us to benefit considerably from the capital growth that will come with a rising share price. So our business model, it's slightly different to the usual explorer, which is raise money, spend money, go and raise money again. Oh, and hope and believe that you can find something major within your portfolio that can keep you going on that model. This is our model. Power is there to acquire opportunities. And once it's acquired those opportunities, it has three principal routes. Now, these are not entirely exclusive of other options, but we can develop our projects internally. Okay, so we take in a project, we do some work on it, we take a view. Is this something that is best to be developed by ourselves with more extensive and remember, more costly exploration? Or do we seek to joint venture an interest with a partner? Now, if you make a large-scale metal discovery, the chances are that the cost of running that project will increase materially. Now, you may be able to cope with that, but it also may be better to bring in a large partner with experience, finance, capability, and so on, and can really build the value of the project through their involvement. And then the third option is to vend out the project outside the business. And I've put here 2 new listed vehicle, because we've talked about that with our Australia Gold joint venture, and we've talked about that with our Kavango strategic joint venture in Botswana. So there are various ways that we can push the business forward. At the end of the day, it's a business model of project generation, internal development, and external value crystallization. And that last bit is absolutely key, because that's where we start to bolt on chunks of value onto our balance sheet, making us or pushing us towards that absolute financial self-sufficiency, which is an important target for us. Okay, there's our project mix. 10 projects, not on this screen, 6 on this screen, 4 on the next. I'm not going to run through these in detail. There's lots of information on the website. The presentation itself, which we're going to skip through, has lots of further information. Any questions, please refer them to me. You can reach me via mobile. My number is on all the market news announcements, or you can send it to info@powermetalresources.com, because I get all those emails. So Australia Gold, we are waiting for the granting of licenses. We've done lots of work on this portfolio of license applications that are sat within the Victoria Goldfields area, one of the hottest areas for gold exploration nowadays, and drawing lots of attention from international companies and domestic companies. We are a 49.9% holder in a joint venture with Red Rock Resources holding the other 50.1%. We've done detailed project reports. We've done a National Instrument 43101. We've set up an office in Ballarat. We have an exploration manager. We're pushing everything forward now. The key to unlocking value is the granting of the licenses, so we can push ahead with ground exploration. Very exciting to be able to launch ground exploration in an environment where the license areas are peppered with evidence of gold prospectivity, whether that's historic exploration data, pretty much all available online on the public system there, or whether that's through former working mines and that kind of thing. And also the current operational activities of working mines today. So lots to go at in Australia, lots of information on the website. The granting of the licenses is the key value driver for us. In addition, we're looking at the IPO of some or all of the interests on the North American exchange. And again, news on that, I'm pretty sure, would be a value driver for the markets. We're also engaging on discussions that have been pretty much quite, how can I put this, ongoing for some time with various parties who have expressed interest in these properties. It's a very attractive area. Anyone who's operating in this area with interests will be drawing attention. There's been lots of investment in the Victoria Goldfields area from Canada, and there will be lots more, I would expect, going forward. So there's the portfolio of license applications on the ground. Lots of work going on. 3 value drivers: granting of licenses, work on the potential IPO in the North American Stock Exchange, and engagement with third parties expressing an interest. All of that has been put in our previous market news announcements. And there's a few examples of why we want to push on with exploration. Look at the gold produced across a number of these projects, particularly the Blue Whale, Blue Ribbon project. Look at some of the nuggets that have been found in this area. It is a truly unique area, up to 750 ounces in a nugget from the Sardinia Gold Project. So we want to crack on. There's the BMV Gold Project, which is a distinct group of 8 license applications. And that's the particular package on which we produced the 43101. Okay, so Botswana, we have a range of interests in Botswana, starting with Malopo Farms. We are earning into a 40% direct project interest by spending $500,000 on exploration, notably exploration drilling. With regard to that drilling, we're halfway through with 2 of the 4 planned holes completed. We found thick sections of ultramafics. We found visible sulfide in the drill core. There's lots of activities happening. Any of them could produce, value drivers for the business, whether that be the technical ongoing review of the existing core, downhole geophysics, the assay testing of the samples that we take from the drill core, and then the further drill holes that we plan to undertake as soon as possible. We're looking for large-scale nickel sulfide PGMs. From my perspective, the holy grail of base metals, if you can find a nickel sulfide deposit of some substance, you are in a company transformational scenario, which is exactly what we're pushing to do. A little bit more information there on Malopo, but again, the value drivers come from direct exploration drilling that is happening at the moment, the drill program halfway through. Next 2 holes to be undertaken in due course, and also the results from the first 2 holes and all the technical analysis that's happening there. Then we've got a joint venture, a strategic joint venture with Kavango Resources, which is listed in London with the ticker KAV. Power Metal in 2020 agreed with Kavango to form a strategic joint venture. Now that includes 2 main projects. The first one, the Ditau Camp project, which is looking for rare earths, and the results of our ongoing exploration there will come out to market. Again, we're looking for things that can transform the company, and active exploration is the best scenario where you can deliver that kind of return of information to market. So results on Ditau from the exploration will come to the market. In addition, we have a 50% interest in the Kalahari Copper Belt project, just down the road from the T3 discovery that I made with MOD Resources when I was CEO of Metal Tiger back in 2016. Doing similar things today with this project. Not quite in deja vu because every single project is different, but it's as close as. And we've already published some of the results. There will be more to come. And we're looking forward to pushing on this project. We're targeting large-scale copper, silver deposits with this project. Cameroon, we've announced to market that we're undertaking a review of Cameroon, and we will provide a further update on that in due course. Canada, and we start with the silver project. And that's Silver Peak in British Columbia, Canada. You know, if you're going to do a silver project, you might as well go for one of the best, in our view. And this is the historic Eureka Victoria silver mine. We agreed to earn into a 30% interest in Silver Peak last year, and we did various exploration in summer 2020 that provided us with some bonanza grade silver. And we pushed on as fast as we could before the weather window closed to try and undertake a full drill program. We didn't quite make it, but we were close. And we got some really good results from that program also, confirming vein continuity. We need to get back in there and start drilling as soon as the spring thaw kicks in, and also to look at how we move this forward corporately. Very exciting project for the company. If you like pictures, there you go. There's a few pictures on the website also, well, a few more actually. You can see the type of environment that we are working in. In addition to that, we've recently acquired the Hemlo North project in Ontario. And this is a package of 122 single cell mining claims. There are 3 packages that sit side by side, and they are just to the east of Panther's Dotted Lake project and to the west of Palladium 1's project area. Now, both Panther and Palladium 1 have produced some very interesting exploration results, and that exploration is generally happening in this area, which is becoming increasingly of interest, that's drawing lots of attention. Our job as a company is to find those projects that are growing in interest, where people want to get an involvement, where companies around the world are looking to acquire interest. We need to be in the right areas, alongside the right commodities and alongside the right geologies. And we, with the Hemlo North project, have demonstrated again that we have the ability to find opportunities all over the world. And if they are good enough, prospective enough, then we will move on them quickly. So further information to come on Hemlo North as well in due course. There's a little bit of information about the positioning of the license areas and a bit more there, with some information on what's been found recently in and around our project. In the DRC, we have one of the legacy interests from a couple of years ago when we refinanced and restructured Power Metal Resources. This is the Kasinka Copper Cobalt project. We have a 70% interest in this project. We started in 19 with a termite mound sampling program, and we continued in 2020 with a pitting, mapping, and sampling program. Those two exploration programs have helped to confirm a 6.8 kilometer long copper cobalt anomaly. And we're currently undertaking geophysics to go to the next stage, which really is targeting drilling, putting holes in the ground. You know, as a company, we like to drill. Well, we want to drill in the Kasinka project to really get some data out. And we'll push for that as soon as possible. But next step news, geophysics results. And then alongside that, we're applying to convert the exploration license into a 25-year production license, which will be a unique thing for a small junior resource companies such as Power. So major value drivers in Kasinka potentially are the geophysics results moving into drilling, together with the application to convert into a 25-year production license. Tanzania, we have, in conjunction with Katoro Gold, the Haneti project, which is a polymetallic project over a very large area, 5,000 square kilometers of licenses, offers and applications. It's prospective for all sorts of things: nickel, PGMs, cobalt, copper, gold, rare earths, and lithium. The project area sits on top of the Haneti Itizu ultramafic complex, 80-kilometer long system prospective for various metals. And at the moment, we sit just having completed a 2,000-meter rotary air blast program across two main target areas, Mehanza Hill and Moaka Hill. The samples are at the labs, and we're waiting for the assay results to come back. We're targeting a large-scale nickel sulfide PGM discovery, and the rotary air blast program will, we trust, move into a diamond drill program on key targets in due course. It is a very exciting project, one I've been following for years, and now Power has a direct involvement in it. And in the USA, we have the Alamo Gold project. Again, another project we acquired the right to earn into up to a 75% holding back in 2020. We're active in the field at the Alamo Gold project. There's lots of work been going on, which has included increasing the overall project area, now up to 946 acres, undertaking ground reconnaissance surveys and various other activities. And we will provide updates to market as soon as practicable. So that's our project portfolio, many different projects. How can we manage them all? Well, we're careful with our money. We're careful with our structuring of business deals. We make sure we don't overstretch financially, and we make sure we're working with the right operational teams in country so that they can do the work on our behalf. It's important that we stay in control, we operate and we manage and coordinate, and we're able to do that from London on the whole. Our model has been very strong in the last year with the COVID-19 restrictions, because we have used local teams and therefore our inability to travel as flexibly as we normally would do has been replaced by a strong local operating team in each area doing work actively as we've moved forward. Now, we have had a lot of news at the same time, because after the COVID-19 restrictions, many projects started to come online and operational towards the back end of 2020. but we like the activity, the proactivity, and we like to keep the news flow to market. Now, underlying all of our progress is the strength of the business financially. And we have published that we had, in a recent announcement, at that time, we had in excess of 2.7 million of working capital, which is cash and liquid investments. Our model, as you saw earlier in the presentation, is to undertake in part vend outs, creating additional working capital for the company. When you sell a project into a new listed vehicle, for example, you get shares, you get warrants, you might get royalties, and all of that goes onto the balance sheet and builds your working capital, because if you needed to, you could sell those shares, convert those warrants and sell the shares that you get from them. So there's lots of different ways to generate operational cash flow internally within the business. We are still having warrant conversions come in. That brings money into the company on a regular basis. But of course, the number of warrants has reduced considerably, as you've seen, and eventually that warrant supply of cash will run out. Now, that will still give us a very large working capital position, but we need to make sure that we build that by doing vend outs and generating value, which is our model. Just as an indication of some of the investments that we have in place at the moment, you can see on this slide the latest position. That we hope will grow, become broader, and we'll have a wider portfolio of investments that we hope will increase considerably in value. So back to the start, why invest in Power Metal Resources? Our 4 principles: build aggressively, communicate proactively, build our balance sheet toward self-financing status, and make sure that our board are aligned. Compensation, salary is reasonable, and that we make money by taking the share price higher as quickly and efficiently as we can. Now, to a certain extent, as we've seen very recently, part of the share price performance is dependent on the market sentiment and overall confidence in junior shares and that kind of thing. But we can influence quite a lot the share price movement with our work, which is why we work proactively and why we publicize what we're doing so much. But it goes without saying that if we are successful and if we make a major metal discovery or discoveries in our business, the valuation of the company will go up considerably. And it is likely that will be the case whether the market is in a poor sentiment position or a positive sentiment position. There's our contact details. If you have any questions or queries, please send them through. info@powermetalresources.com. My mobile phone number is on all market news announcements. Send me a message and I can get back in touch with you. We want any questions, any queries, any suggestions, any feedback. It's all useful. We take it all on board. And as we grow as a business, we will use that feedback and we'll use that guidance from shareholders and investors out there to make us a bigger and better business. Thank you very much for following the Power Metal story.